So it sets up an interesting situation, Adam. We wanted to talk about what happens with Aaron Rodgers this weekend, if he plays, if he doesn't. But let me ask this differently. We thought about it kind of in this way. What could derail Aaron Rodgers' return for Sunday?
Well, that there will be symptoms when he's checked up on Saturday, because the doctors have to clear him. He's got to be asymptomatic. And if he's not, then the doctors could slow him and prevent him from returning to the Green Bay Packers, which he's eligible to do on Saturday. Now, my understanding is, again, you don't know how the medicals will go, but the expectation is that he will be cleared, that he will be asymptomatic, and he will be able to return to the Packers and be eligible to play Sunday. Now, as Matt LaFleur said, he's gone through the virtual meetings this week. He knows what the team is thinking going into the matchup against the Seattle Seahawks and Russell Wilson. But it still is a week without practice. It still is 10 days with dealing with COVID. You don't know physically how he's going to respond. Mentally, he knows the offense. He's worked with these receivers. The chemistry and connection he has with Davante Adams is second to none in the league. He'll be able to step right in and pick up right where he left off. The question I have is from a physical standpoint and how the virus would or wouldn't affect him on Sunday, and we won't know until he, A, is reinstated, activated off the COVID list, and then does start, which is the expectation, but not official, Ryan.
And then, Adam, the other interesting news here is he got a big present, as I understand it. What's the latest on star tackle David Bakhtiari?
David Bakhtiari is activated off injury reserve, and it looks like the Pro Bowl left tackle now is going to be on track to be able to play this weekend against Seattle. You're talking about one of the top offensive tackles in the league, somebody who protects Aaron Rodgers' blind side. That would be a big boost to Aaron Rodgers, to the Packers offense. They've made do without him and have really hummed along. But with David Bakhtiari manning the left tackle position, the offensive line and the offense itself should be even better.
And to bolster that point, Adam, I just wanted to point out, Hembo passed this stat along to me that I just have to let people know to show the impact of Bakhtiari. They're 23-5 with Bakhtiari in the last two seasons. He's only allowed 5 sacks in those 2 seasons, protecting Aaron Rodgers' blind side. So, Lewis, I go to you. Rodgers is back. If he comes back, he's on a mission. Bakhtiari's here. How far can this team go?
Look, you saw even without David Bakhtiari in the lineup that this team was starting to hit its stride. It really is a team that has tremendous closeness in the locker room as far as how it manifests itself on the football field, meaning they play great complementary football. The defense has been playing much better. They were missing their defensive coordinator against the Arizona Cardinals. How'd that turn out a couple weeks ago? They look great. They have great veteran leadership on the coaching staff on the defensive side. With Aaron coming back and Bakhtiari coming back, that just kind of really strengthens that bond and that closeness, and obviously adds some tremendous playmakers, one of the best left tackles in the NFL, and a guy who's going to be considered to be an MVP at the quarterback spot. I would not worry about Aaron in any way, shape, or form from a mental aspect. He is the maestro, the conductor, as far as that offense is concerned. As Adam pointed to, it's just the physical part, and we don't know that right now.
And then you got to wonder if Odell Beckham Jr. is hearing this and thinking, okay, there's that addition. Could look even better for me in Green Bay. Do you think they're the team to beat in the NFC with these guys back?
I wouldn't say they're the team to beat, because I'm not going to dismiss Arizona, what the Cardinals have done so far. But listen, I think Lewis, the word Lewis used is like they have momentum on their side. You clearly see, again, the defense is playing better. You're going to add one of the premier players in the National Football League, and David Bakhtiari, back to that offensive line. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is going to come back, and I don't worry about Aaron Rodgers at all stepping back in there. This man knows how to orchestrate that offense like the back of his hand. So I think the Green Bay Packers, man, they're on a trajectory right now that not too many people want to play this team right now.
Bart laughed at even the reference of worrying about Aaron Rodgers coming back.
I mean, did you see the other option? I mean, come on, man. Like, Aaron Rodgers was the biggest beneficiary of not playing last week. I think he just showed just how important he is and what a big difference he makes when you saw what Jordan Love does. But you just talk about just his presence. I don't care how healthy he is. Aaron Rodgers at 40%, at 20% is better than Jordan Love. And him going out there, listen, this is important for them because they're fighting for that one wild card. And they lost real estate last week because Jordan Love wasn't able to play at a high level. And you talk about being able to keep pace with Tampa Bay, keep pace with Los Angeles. This is a very important game. If Aaron Rodgers can stand upright, I mean, I'm playing him, I'm starting him because it's just that important.
And not only that, I mean, if he goes and plays and shows out, I got to think top 2 team in the NFC, top 3.
Well, Tampa's still the team to beat to me. I mean, they're the deepest team, and they do have the best quarterback, the GOAT, on their squad.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.